Welcome back to the Wizards of Amazon podcast, your weekly blueprint for explosive success. I'm Carlos Alvarez, full-time successful Amazon seller and organizer of the largest Amazon seller meetup group in the world. Let's do this. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Wizards of Amazon podcast, where we cover all things private label. My name is Carlos Alvarez, and I'm going to be your host for the show. Today, it's just you and me on the show. No guests. I like to do this every now and then. My goal is to rotate each week with a guest and you just have me solo. I like doing both of these, and the feedback from you guys so far is that you enjoy it as well. Today is an episode that I almost led off the kickoff of my podcast with, just because it's such an exciting topic and everyone can relate to it. Everyone's tool stack is different. And I'm going to share in this episode my top 10 tools for use in Amazon and my business. Some of these tools are going to be really obvious, and some of them might make you scratch your head. I'm sure your tool stack looks different than mine. I'd love to know what your top 10 tools are, or if it's easier for you, what tools did I not mention in my top 10 that made your top 10? If you want to share that with me, I'd love to talk to you about it. And you can just DM me or PM me, whatever it's called, on Instagram at Wizards of Amazon. To keep this episode in the easily to digest range, which is around 30 minutes, I'm going to try to rip through these 10 tools as quick as possible. I'm going to mention the tool. I'll try to mention, the price if I remember it exactly. I'll try to include some links in the show notes that might be difficult. Some of those links may or may not be affiliate links. I'll try to put that wherever that is the case. But here we go. Let's dive into it. So I tried to organize these also in the order of importance for me. But in some cases, like example, the first 3 tools, or definitely the first 2 tools that I'm going to name, the placement of them is they're so close, they're neck and neck. But I obviously have to stick them in somewhere between 1 and 10. So first tool should be no surprise to anybody, and that is Helium 10. Helium 10 is the workhorse in my business. It should need no introduction, but it is a suite of tools that will allow you to do everything from the product sourcing stage all the way through managing and tracking your profits, using Refund Genie to get refunds, doing spying on your competitors or competitor research, whatever is easier for you to swallow, and a whole lot of other things. A cool feature Helium 10 has that I don't think gets enough people talking is Scribbles. So Scribbles, we use it in a unique way in the sense of I love writing, but the ROI is not there for me to write personally anymore. So I'm fortunate to have an amazing team that actually can craft these listings. The cool thing with Scribbles is that once I've been able to train someone on my team for how I want the listings to be written, obviously staying current with, Amazon SEO strategies of that time, the TOS, all of that stuff, I'm able to have them crank out their first few listings within Scribbles. So they're able to see all the keywords over on the left, and whenever they start using them on the right, you can kind of see what's been used and what's still available to be used. So super powerful feature within Helium 10, Scribbles, and Helium 10 as a whole is an amazing tool. I think I'm on their highest plan, which is, I believe, under $200 a month. They have a free plan and something else in like the $100 a month range. This is one of those tools that pays for itself. Something else I should have mentioned before this, and a good friend of mine, Carlos Vasquez, actually said it a while back, and it really changed the way I view these tools. And I'd like you to start looking at how you look at your tools that way. Stop looking at tools as you pay for them. It's obvious you do pay for them, but look at it as if you're hiring them. It really changes things once you do that. So a cool thing to do right there with Helium 10 is if I'm hiring Helium 10, instead of paying a monthly on Helium 10, what I'm hiring is, imagine if I needed to hire out virtual assistants or domestic employees to, perform a Cerebro-like search, reverse ASIN search on my competitors. What would that look like in hourly wages, in training, and SOPs, and all of that? Clearly, when you look at it that way, anytime you're on the fence and you're like, wow, $99 or $200 a month, I think that's a little too much for me. It'll then change immediately when you realize, wait a minute, even a really, really affordable virtual assistant at, this amount of hours per week to perform this function, assuming that they really know what they're doing, would cost me blank, and how many hours of my day to manage that. So once you look at it that way, it's really quick, and you're like, yep, that's a good deal. And those are the paces I put a tool through before I add it on to my toolbox, if you will. And while these are the top 10, they're obviously not all the tools that I use. My second one is ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign is my workhorse when it comes to email marketing. Email marketing, I know in the Amazon space currently, if you look at Facebook groups, they would say email is dead. I assure you, every other year, everybody says that in every industry, and email is alive and well, as good as ever. Email is also one of my greatest revenue drivers in my business, in the sense of that's where I get my reviewers. That's where I drive traffic. I'm doing air quotes here, drive traffic to my Amazon listings. That's where I approach cold traffic and nurture them in initial email campaigns. It's where I can separate the wheat from the chaff, so I know who I should, focus more of my resources on or not. Number 3, a not so spoken about tool, but has paid for itself a million times over for me, is PickFu. For those of you that don't know PickFu, Pickfu, PickFu allows you to, in a really quick period of time, get feedback on different things. It does a lot of other stuff, but this is the feature that I use it for. So let's say you have a website that you're building, or a main image that you want to test out again, get some feedback on against another main image, or your competitors' images. You can put them up on PickFu, and their amazing people will actually look at this and give you feedback and vote and everything on which one is better. This is something that in my early days, PickFu didn't exist back then, but in my early days, I would have seen as a waste of money. I was like, no, I can just do this. I'm just going to ask my girlfriend, or I'll ask my neighbor, or something like that. And it's super biased, first of all, and they're not really qualified to answer or give feedback on the topic. So PickFu does all that. And what you wind up, anytime, again, looking at hiring a tool instead of paying for it, imagine trying to get together a group of people, unbiased, that are qualified in a given niche to give feedback on a subject, and then put that poll out there and get them to answer it. Even with an amazing ActiveCampaign email list, whenever you put a poll out there on something, getting people to actually answer it and go through all the paces is a challenge. So if you don't do it and you put it out there, what you wind up paying for in potentially wasted or extra PPC costs or downtime on your listing is a lot more than PickFu. The fourth one that I'm currently implementing in one of my businesses within Amazon Seller Central is Ignite by Seller Labs. An amazing tool. I like it on the entry level for Amazon PPC management. I don't have experience using this tool at a much higher level. At a much higher level, I have a pretty robust 20-person Amazon PPC team that deals with robust, the accounts that are mine that are at a much higher spending level, as well as clients' accounts we actually handle personally. But on the accounts that are at a lower velocity, where we're spending, let's say, less than $30,000 a month in PPC, then Ignite's a pretty amazing tool. Number 5 for me would be SentryKit. SentryKit's pretty amazing. I love it because it's, I feel like anytime that I need to use it, something has gone wrong. But whenever I'm not using it, I just know it's there. And what SentryKit does is SentryKit allows you to, almost like a time capsule, go back and see all the different changes that happened on your listing. So, was your dimensions or weights changed? Was the title changed? Any tiny little things that can be added to your listing or edited that you may or may not want. SentryKit will track all of that, and then you'll be able to just stay on top of your listing. So if somebody went in there and added some stuff about batteries or pesticides, or went in there and changed, or Amazon changed your dimensions on your packaging, which now put you into oversized and you're paying more, any of those things that you might not normally catch immediately, SentryKit will catch, and you'll be able to take action on it. Number 6, a throwback from my arbitrage and wholesale days, is Keepa. I still love Keepa. I think they're used to be free. Everybody went up in arms when they started charging. I think they charge under $50 a month now, but I still love Keepa. I still love, even though a lot of what's in Keepa I can see in Helium 10. I'm still of the mindset where I like different tools checking on each other sometimes. And since I've always used Keepa, I use Keepa to kind of validate some of the data that I see in Helium 10, or at a glance, see what's going on with competitors that are my current competitors or soon to be competitors in a new industry that I'm going to get into. Number 7, for me, this is a new addition. This was a new addition in 2019, and I definitely see myself staying with them as long as I'm in business, and that's Design Pickle. So Design Pickle, I've heard about them. If you're in the merch by Amazon, if you do anything with merch by Amazon, it's pretty hard to not know about them. I love merch by Amazon. In a future episode, I'll talk about how I use merch by Amazon with my private label business on Amazon. But Design Pickle has 2 plans. One of them is like $399, $400 a month, and the other one is just shy of $1,000 a month. But what it gives you, both of those plans, is a dedicated, professional, reliable designer. So that you have, this is like your designer on staff, no training necessary, no need to create the communication framework. If you check out Design Pickle, they'll show you all the different things they can do, whether it's ebook covers, PDF covers, whether it's your graphics and call outs and annotations on your images on Amazon. If you're just launching like one product a month, then Design Pickle is probably like swatting a mosquito with a hammer, overkill. But if you are launching products frequently, and you want somebody for packaging, plus you have your social media stuff going on, your website, creating lead magnets, all these different things in your business, Design Pickle is amazing. What you get for those prices is unlimited designs and revisions per month. So think about it. You have a full-time professional, and I mean really good designer. Whatever Design Pickle's criteria is for picking people, they're spot on. Number 8 is a new addition for me. Also in 2019, it will be in my arsenal heavy in 2020, just from all the testing we've done, some amazing feedback we've gotten so far. And that's the Amazon Live Creator app. So, or short, Amazon Live. If you have not heard about Amazon Live, if you're not incorporating in your business, you are leaving money on the table. It's pretty amazing. So you basically need brand registry. And once you have it, you can go live on Amazon. You can talk about your product. I don't know that there's any max length of time yet. I haven't tested it, but the sweet spot for us has been 5 minutes to 15 minutes. I can also say that fancy production we've seen worse results with that. So I think it was Danny McMillan, when I was just on his podcast, actually referred to it, the more ghetto, the better, trying to help me describe what I was trying to say. And I think that is very accurate. So the more ghetto, the better. Your phone, set up a camera and just start talking about your brand, your products, and everything like that. I'm definitely going to have a lot of episodes in 2020 about Amazon Live and the Amazon Live Creator app and how we're using it. I can say right now, one of the things that we're using to great success with it is a kind of a verbal or audible search, find, buy, or as I still refer to it as treasure hunt. Doing it that way on the live and having people search while you're live and sweetening the pot while they're out searching for it. So that's working really good for us so far. Number 9, Zapier or Zapier. I think this is a hotly debated pronunciation of the word, but I can't, in a future episode, I'm going to actually do the top 10 tools for my business overall. And then it's not just Amazon, as my business is a lot bigger than just Amazon at this point. But I'd be remiss to not add Zapier into this mix. So what Zapier does is, in the Amazon side, an easy one would be anytime I get an email of an order coming in, I can have Zapier grab that order ID and stick it on a Google Sheet. So I can have it do a lot of automations that, again, you're hiring this tool. I could spend an entire episode talking about all the different functions that Zapier has for your Amazon business. In reality, it depends what you have going on in your business, depending on which ones you're going to use. I don't use all of them, but Zapier is the best description of it, if you don't know it, is it's a bridge between different tools that don't have an apparent integration with each other. Final tool, because as I promised, I wanted to keep this episode short, and I think I'm setting a record. I guess I would have added a little more on each of these tools had I known I can get through it in under 15 minutes. But this one is, we're going to talk a little bit more about as well. I've used this tool for years, and it's SEMrush, or SEMrush, whichever you want to pronounce it as, which is www.semrush.com. SEMrush is my workhorse when it comes to the Google Analytics side of my business. So as a brand or private label seller in Amazon, I'm not one for just, tunnel vision. It's an Amazon product. I'm only going to think about Amazon PPC and Amazon product detail page, and that's it. Or if anything, I add on some black hat or gray hat stuff to get the needle moving in my business. One of my that I can definitely say has been one of my main reasons for success on Amazon is not ignoring the Google side of my business. Articles, blogs, press releases, all of those things. We have a future episode coming up regarding press releases, articles, and all of that stuff in our Amazon businesses and how they can tie into a solid private label selling strategy on Amazon. But SEMrush is my workhorse there. So how I first incorporate SEMrush into the mix is when I am deciding what product I'm going to sell, which, as everybody here knows, that's a process in and of itself. I do promise you that in a future episode, I will be covering in depth my approach to sourcing and validating a product before selling it. Fortunately, I'm knocking on wood, I've never launched an unsuccessful product on Amazon. What SEMrush does is it allows me to look at all of my competitors and see what they're currently doing. So if I say I was to grab a few of my competitors on Amazon that I see are, pretty well established on the first page of Amazon, I can then go see everything else that they're doing on the web in the way of blogs, press releases, Google ads, Facebook ads, all of that stuff. And I can really see what their game plan is and reverse engineer it. If, on the other hand, if I look and there's really little to no information, like I don't see any of that stuff, then I realize that they're way too dependent on either black hat tactics or Amazon PPC to really stand a chance. So that's exciting to me in and of itself. But SEMrush allows me to quickly see that and also track all of my competitors with live alerts and live generated reports regarding anything I want to track on Amazon. Something of my Amazon competitors. Something I want to add here is I've been in talks with SEMrush. They've reached out to the Wizards of Amazon Facebook group. They've joined our Wizards of Amazon Telegram chat group, and SEMrush is actively and devoting a lot of resources towards creating an analytics tool for Amazon sellers. So if you want to know more about that, you definitely want to contact SEMrush. But when it comes to data and presenting data in a way that's beneficial for sellers, SEMrush has never let me down. Guys, this is a quick one. First episode of the year. I'm super excited to be starting 2020 with you guys. Again, any questions you have, any feedback on these episodes, I'd love to hear from you on Instagram at Wizards of Amazon. take a second to join our Facebook group at Wizards of Amazon, and you can always text me at 305-902-1283. Keep crushing it in your business, and happy 2020. Liked what you heard and want to stay connected? Join our Facebook group or find me anywhere on social media at Wizards of Amazon, or text the word Amazon to 69922.